Today we're going to see some artwork from you.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yeah.
First of all, can you tell us where we are?
Yes. Well, right now we are at kunstneriske, which is an artist workshop in NordKraft, where we are 6 artists that do different kind of art, from painting to sewing to drawing to audio stuff. Yeah, there was someone who used to listen to plants and stuff.
Maybe we can take a walk down there.
Yeah, and such a really good, nice space to make art with good light and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your art.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that. Some
yes.
of it is lying on the floor here.
Yes. Yes.
What kind of art is it?
So when as I've grown to research more about art, I have learned that the style that I paint in could be called cubism, because I use many lines and sharp corners. But when I started, I had no idea that's the name. I started making this kind of art with a reason for therapy, like we discussed before. And the reason I used lines and shapes is because I'm from Congo. Mm. And when I came here, I realized that we don't have a language to explain to each other what's happening on either side of the world, because maybe we're not concerned, or maybe we're just busy with ourselves and we never know that other places in the world live in the way that they do. So when I came here, I got crazy depressed and I lost everything. So I used to feel like I was flowing like water every time, and there's nothing wrong with that, but then you kind of have to have a control, even if you're flowing like water. So I decided to use okay, first of all, I enjoy painting. I enjoy art in general, and when I got depressed and stuff, I lost everything. I even lost strength in my limbs. I lost it all, but I remembered that I could still make art. So I tried to use art as my medicine to see if this could work. And so that's why I used lines and shapes, because I wanted to kind of curb my emotions and like control them, even if that's also a scary thing for me to do, because I like to just be free. But for that moment, I needed to just like get boxes and put color in there so that I can see myself. Yeah, so then I did like simple shapes like guitars and stuff that was reminding me of, yeah, like any little memory I could remember. And then I got a spot here. Like I started to paint for therapy in 2016. 3 years later, I got a spot here. And then I made this project with these ones that you've just seen. Because it was for body movement, anatomy and stuff. Yeah, I can say that it's getting better with my not flowing anymore. I feel like I'm now standing up and I can control that and the movements. Yes, and then I use so many colors as well, because I love colors, and I guess also where I come from, we have so many colors in foods, in clothing, in yeah, in the sky and whatever, plants, flowers. So that keeps me alive also, even if I don't think about it.
So the colors are important. Yes,
they are. They also have a flow and a rhythm in there that just says to me that there's something going on. Yeah, and also I made flat work. Because you can see a little bit of depth and I guess dimension if you look harder, but then you realize that I did not make any volume, or like there's nothing with depth and stuff. It's all just flat, because it was like the first step to recreating a Sarah that is not flowing anymore. And now I think I'm getting to a place where I can show depth in my art, yeah, and I'm comfortable.
So if we're talking about the materials you're using in your art,
yes.
What kind of paint is it, first of all?
It's acrylic.
Acrylic?
Yes.
And what's the advantages of using acrylic paint?
Okay, the advantages of using acrylic is because it's simple. It dries really quickly, if that can be an advantage. And I like that advantage because I like to paint quick and be done. So acrylics do come through in that way. They also have a little disadvantage that they dry really quickly. So you might want to correct something, but it's a bit too late because it's already dry. And I use just normal brushes on a normal canvas. Yeah, I haven't used oil painting before. And also, as you can see, it's just simple. All I do is draw the shape, and then I'll put the color in, and I keep adding a coat until you cannot see the canvas anymore. Okay. But I'm beginning on new stuff where you can see through the canvas and stuff. So I think I'm really releasing all the anxiety and tension.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And canvas,
yes,
is a good kind of material to paint on.
Yes, also. Yes. I've also painted on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoy canvas the most. Yeah, I just like how it sits.
It's like your style is kind of, some know it maybe from Picasso, this kind of cubism.
True.
Do you like use, when I look at the lines, they're
yes.
Quite sharp.
Yes.
Is that something you do with tape? Because sometimes I paint at home.
Yeah.
I use tape.
Yeah.
To make a sharp edge.
Yes.
Is it something like that?
Actually, no.
No.
I mainly use the ruler and I draw the line, and then I think what gives me joy is painting on the line without stepping out of it.
Yeah.
Because it was all that thing about boxing myself in a thing. So that helped me when I'm painting around the edges and not use tape and just be careful not to cross over. So yeah, I don't use tape. I just freehand with a ruler.
Okay, let's take a look at what we're gonna see today.
Doing right now.
Yeah,
right.
And what we're gonna. You see, we're in the middle of a process here.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna put up a camera and see you paint
this
as much as we have time for today.
Cool.
So, but what is going on here?
There's a main character clearly, which is a swan. But today, so yesterday, we were driving around the country, and we saw so many swans.
Yeah. And
I got so inspired by them because they're so cute, I think. And you rarely see swans. And then I came and Googled about them, and I found out that there's a type of swan that's actually extinct. It's called Koskoroba, but it's like
probably
yes, among the original swan species. And its unique feature is that it has some black dots on the feathers around the tail that you can only see when it flies. So I chose to paint it because they made me feel so good.
explain to us the colors that we see now?
Yes.
Is that something that's going to continue in the picture, you reckon?
That's a good question. When I just, that's a really good question. I just thought that I could do so before you guys came, but then I figured maybe I can make the swan stand out in almost completely different colors than the ones you can see, because that's what I'm going for. I'm going for a little rough background and a very sharp picture compared to, like, see that picture? There's like the background is also as sharp as the picture. Yeah. And here we're just gonna go play with the transparency of the colors and stuff. So there's gonna come completely other different colors, and so it's not going to be a white swan. It's gonna be so many other colors in this one. Yeah, and a little white. And yeah, so the background won't change much. What will change so much is the picture in the middle.
Okay.
Yes, and it's just something I'm trying to do so that I can break off of the style that I have been doing before, because I wanna grow and elevate my art from a flat feeling to like a feeling where there's depth. So I'm trying to just combine the two, a simple object and maybe a background that is a bit more interesting. So far we cannot, this image doesn't show nothing of how it's going to look at in the end, but in time you shall see as it progresses. Yeah. Yeah.
We're looking forward to that.
But the plan is to have the swan stand out from the background, and so the rest of the background will stay as is, but where the swan is will come different colors, and it's just a new style I'm trying, which I want to do a little different from what I do. Mm-hmm. Just have a little more transparency in the painting, where it's not all opaque, covered in color, but you can kind of see through it. It's also kind of growth in my painting, as I can say. I like to paint, but also I feel like I'm creating a new system for myself and just see how far I can go with that, because we come from flowing with no control to control, and now see how nicely and not forcing myself I can use that control still in my art. So that's
how many, when you start a picture, a painting, yeah, how I mean, you can start out thinking that you're going to do something, but sometimes it just ends up being a whole different thing.
Yes.
Is that a common thing for you?
Actually, no. And I think that's a bit sad for me, because I would like to go that way, where I don't have the end picture in my head. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe this is a little start of that activity, because I just went with all I know is that I wanted to paint a swan, but I didn't know how the canvas was supposed to look like. Before that, I already knew everything that I wanted to do, so I came prepared and there were no mistakes. Or if there were mistakes, I act like they were part of the show, but mainly 90% I knew what I wanted. But here, it's a bit more like just trial and error. Let's go. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, let's go inside.
Yeah.
Sarah, you're actually quite unique living here in Aalborg.
Yes.
And coming from a place like Congo. Mm-hmm. What kind of, what can you say, culturally difference do you see, like if we're talking about art, let's start with that topic.
Yes.
Where do you see the big differences?
I would say, first of all, if we talk about art in paintings, colors.
Yeah.
Yes, the colors here are more not very, what is it called, darker, what's the, I don't know.
Is it
They're
more
very
dark?
light.
Or it's lighter?
Yeah, the colors are very light and very similar. Like, so when I started painting, I had a friend who told me that they needed to teach me the colors that Danish people like so that I can paint that, because I guess I was just doing different. So the colors, the art where I come from is very vibrant compared to here.
Yeah.
Yes, but like generally, culturally, I think everything connects, like from food to language to all that brings in what I saw there and what I see here. And here things are very mellow and not very shouting and vibrant, but I don't know if that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely, I guess, also a big difference in how much sunshine.
True.
If you come from in the middle of Africa, from Congo.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes.
And you come to Denmark. You're talking about prior that you had depressions.
Yes. Yes.
And I think a lot of Danish people actually also have that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Maybe we need more color.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes. But then that would mean we also need more sun. But then it would mean we would have to change geography and put the map in a different place. But then I'm a bit not very. I don't know so much about art. I can say I like to practice it and I like to do it, but I don't do so much research, nor go to see art shows, because for me that confuses my flow. It's not good. It's a bit of a disadvantage for me, because it would be nice, but then I think it becomes too much in my head because I already know what I want to do. But I think mainly the difference, like the one that you just pointed out, is just because we don't get so much sun here, and therefore it will reflect in a lot of things, and that's just how it is. And so getting here with the same energy that I came with from Africa, not knowing that it doesn't flow the same here, was where the confusion happened. And then it takes you many steps back to watch exactly how things are flowing, and also to see if you can get yourself in the flow. So I think also, like Cubism, the style that I'm using, is quite neutral. Everyone can like it because it's just lines and color, and lines and shapes and angles have something to do with math. And many people understand and like math. It's almost the way of life. So I haven't tried to paint something that I would say, this is only specifically Congolese art, and then ask people their opinion. So far, I just paint stuff that I think everyone can identify with. And sometimes I get things like, you don't make African art, oh, you make white art, or you make Danish art. And I think that's a bit, or sometimes they ask me, do you make African art? And I think that's the most stupid question, forgive me, because I'm African, and I would be definitely making African art if I made it, I don't know. So, yeah, so I don't know what, I know there's like trees and you can paint animals and zebras and stuff, and that's really good safari themed art, but I guess I just vibe differently. I'll do that maybe later in future, but usually I just think about mainly in my mental health and what serves me and what works best, and that's what I do. And so many colors compared to here, that will be the difference. There's less use of color here, or maybe not less, but then not so, like there would be whites and yellows and light purples and blues, but there won't be like deep oranges and deep greens, and yeah. So I guess everyone just looks into the art to give them the thing that they're looking for. Yeah. Yeah.
fuldstændig frivilligt.
Ja. Jeg har fået alting observeret i et andet perspektiv, så jeg ser hvem jeg er. Jeg er ny, men djøven på min skulder, den bærer. Jeg er færdig, jeg overlever ikke det her mere. Hvorfor er det altid mig? Hvorfor kan jeg ikke bare finde mig selv? Du har ikke gået min vej. Jeg har langsomt slået mig selv ihjel. De ting jeg ser op i hovedet er alting rod. Jeg er ikke vant til at mærke mig selv. Men der er ingen der forstår. Jeg fik det fra mine følelser. Svært når der er ingen der kan føle mig. Overset en af mange spøgelser. Ingenting nytter når du blank på dit ydergang. Gangen udrydder alle skeletter i de skab. Nye problemer fra mig selv, men det er mig selv som der står bag. Og hvis du ikke tæller penge og ikke flexer at du kan, fucker jeg ikke mere med dig. Jeg er så træt af den forstand. Opgivet egoisme for mig selv og for mine venner. Vælger heller til og fra, så jeg får styr på alt det indre. Ender enten i en kiste eller bedre end jeg tænker. Jeg er ikke så de andre, hele liv har kørt på skinner, ja. Jeg har fået alting observeret i et andet perspektiv, så jeg ser hvem jeg er. Jeg er ny, men djøven på min skulder, den bærer. Jeg er færdig, jeg overlever ikke det her mere. Hvorfor er det altid mig? Hvorfor kan jeg ikke bare finde mig selv? Du har ikke gået min vej. Jeg har langsomt slået mig selv ihjel. Jeg har fået alting observeret i et andet perspektiv, så jeg ser hvem jeg er. Jeg er ny, men djøven på min skulder, den bærer. Jeg er færdig, jeg overlever ikke det her mere. Hvorfor er det altid mig? Hvorfor kan jeg ikke bare finde mig selv? Du har ikke gået min vej. Jeg har langsomt slået mig selv ihjel. Det sender ikke kom til mig. Alt sammen snakker mellem fingre til en stikker. Jeg er så træt af den by, jeg kommer fra, hvor jeg lever. Ingen ser der kom i stuen, deler mængden og en venner, ja. Det sender ikke kom til mig. Alt sammen snakker mellem fingre til en stikker. Jeg er så træt af den by, jeg kommer fra, hvor jeg lever. Ingen ser der kom i stuen, deler mængden og en venner, ja. Jeg er væk før næste år og kommer aldrig nogensinde tilbage. Jeg tager mine ting og går. I vågner op uden mig en dag. Det har I det nok også bedst med. Jeg er vant til psykisk at blive testet. Du kan opleve altid elsket. Fuck hvad de face vil. Fuck for dem, fuck det. Jeg har fået alting observeret i et andet perspektiv, så jeg ser hvem jeg er. Jeg er ny, men djøven på min skulder, den bærer. Jeg er færdig, jeg overlever ikke det her mere. Hvorfor er det altid mig? Hvorfor kan jeg ikke bare finde mig selv? Du har ikke gået min vej. Jeg har langsomt slået mig selv ihjel.
What generally inspires you when you paint? Is there something that this really kicks you in a way forward?
Yes, something that has to be there is music.
Yeah.
For sure, I have to be listening to music in my ear because it gives me a really good flow. So music and painting for me go hand in hand. I'm also inspired by normal life, mainly my feelings, how I feel, and maybe in conversations that I have with friends, how they feel, or if they're trying to come out of a situation. When I hear feelings, I see them. So, and then I see how the shape that they are, and then so as soon as I hear something, it's a picture in my head, and it's a shape always. It's rarely is it a circle. It's usually a square or a trapezium or So mainly music.
Music.
Yes.
You also you actually put your art out here in Aalborg somewhere, sometimes, and you actually sold some of the art.
Yes.
Can you try to explain how that works
yes.
for you?
Okay. So the first time I sold art, and I was very happy, it was when I had an exhibition at Husel. Yeah. Yes, and then I got feedback after, and people writing me to say, I want that piece, and I was so happy. Yeah, it's nice to imagine that somewhere here in Aalborg there's my art on somebody's wall. It's just so amazing for me. And sometimes I had, last time I had an exhibition at the Gallery here downstairs, and the lady that bought a piece, which was part of these pieces, used to go to yoga, I think, and then she came down and she would see it every day, and so she had to reach out to me. And the way she reached out to me is that she spoke to Kunsthelnor, and then they told me that somebody needed my art about the one I sold. The last piece I sold, which was part of these, they're for charity. They're a charity purpose thing. And I made 5 pieces, I've sold 2, and the money collected goes to a ballerina school in a slum in Kenya, in Nairobi, called Kibera. There's a school there with so many kids. This guy just offers a space for them because their life is really hard. And they come and dance, and also it helps them as well. And they collect money from funds to take them to school and stuff like that. So I chose to give this to that as well. So yeah, part of my sold works have been for charity. Oh,
nice.
Yeah, thanks.
So do you have like an Instagram? Where can we find you if you want?
Yes, my name is Sarah Dominique, Sarah with a H. So if you write Sarah Dominique artist, it's all one word, okay. No spaces, you'll find me. And you can see the works I do, and you can feel free to send me a message. Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah, and there's also my email information, just in case you want to use that. Yeah.
Perfect.